This just screams summer. A little bit of finishing salt. I love finishing salt. There we go. Our pan roast. Here we have zucchini, a typical summer vegetable, squash. We have our green zucchini, and we have our gold bar zucchini, both from the same family. A vegetable that I love, but I like to treat it a little differently than maybe something you're used to. In the case this time, we're going to roast our vegetables. So we've seen purees, we've seen glazing, we've seen braising, we've seen big pot blanching. Now we're going to see roasting. So we're going to cut our zucchini right down the center, okay? Just like that. Try to get it cut evenly. And again, that may take a little practice, but may not. Some of you may already possess those kinds of skills already in being able to cut very evenly. Beautiful. So next step we're going to do is we're going to score it. And scoring vegetables helps the salt penetrate into the flesh of the vegetable, and also going to help draw out some moisture, because we want to draw out some of that water here. Again, you know, salt is a great dehydrator, and in many ways, you know, things have been cured with salt for decades. We're going to score just a cross-hatch down the zucchini. Boom, 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 boom. We have in our pan here, we're heating up some canola oil. And we use canola oil when we want to have high heat. So canola oil has a flash point. The flash point is when an oil will catch on fire of a little over 400 degrees, whereas the extra virgin olive oil has a flash point of around 250 degrees. So you can see where extra virgin olive oil is not necessarily something that we want to cook with because it has a very low flash point. And also, the heat diminishes the flavor of your oils. So any perfumed oil or any oil that has a significant flavor to it that you like, you don't want to use it for cooking. So pan roasting is a wonderful technique to give you a different result in your vegetables. And we pan roast carrots, we pan roast onions. In this case, zucchini. And the result of pan roasting zucchini will give you a succulent, creamy, almost pudding-like vegetable, something that maybe some of you aren't used to when you're eating zucchini. Now you can already see some of the moisture developing on the skin just because it's hitting the air. So we'll go ahead and do that, do this. What we have, we're going to put a little salt on here and let it sit for 10 or 15 minutes. Of course, at home, you may want to let it go a little longer. But just a light little coating. And when we do salt, when we season things with salt, we want to have the salt kind of rain down or snow down on anything you're seasoning. We never want to get this close. We want to be up here. So it gives it a nice, even coating. If we let that sit there for 10 or 15 minutes, the moisture is going to be drawn to the surface. Again, removing some of that moisture helps not just cooking it, but helps the density that will result from the cooking of it. Now you can see already the moisture that's developing on the surface of this. So we heat up our oil. We want to get it to a point where if we were sautéing something, it would also be at that temperature. Okay. So you can see I'm already pulling a lot of moisture off of that vegetable there. I'm rushing this a little bit, but you at home can let it sit for 10 or 15 minutes and extract even more moisture from it. Okay? Removing liquid also helps with the browning or the caramelization of the vegetable. I want to look at this from the side because I can start to see it just shimmering and lightly moving and getting a little bit of smoke off of it. Okay? And that's what we're kind of watching for. Okay? And it's an abundant amount of oil. I'm not concerned about the amount of oil that I use per se, because we're not going to be serving it with the oil. Sliding it in there, whoop, very carefully. Gotta wait for me just for a second there. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now you can see there's no way is it sticking, right? The oil was hot enough to immediately sear the meat of the zucchini, the flesh, in order for it not to stick to your pan. In many cases, we're not heating up our pan enough, or we don't have enough oil in it, and things will stick. Okay? We'll start getting that caramelized. And we want to cook it here maybe for about 5 minutes. Okay? Before we take it into our oven. You can start to see some caramelization around the exterior, and you can start to, the cross hatches become more prominent. You see? Again, you start to see a beautiful caramelization, a roasting quality around the exterior of the zucchini. Same thing there. We start to see a little bit there. Okay. Now you're dealing with extremely hot oil here, so be careful. I don't want you to get burnt, but I also want you to feel comfortable and confident working with your vegetables or whatever you're cooking in a sauté pan. Okay. So I can start to see even more. You start to get that nice caramelization at the ends now. Even more starts to brown. You can see that what we're doing here, right? Very nice. Well, look at that, right? Okay, so we're almost ready to go in the oven here. We have our oven around 425. Right? Again, we want to hit it with high heat to keep that roasting going and that oil really hot. Okay, beautiful, very nice. Oh, look at that, see? So this would also be a great time if you wanted to add some herbs or some garlic to that to give it a little more perfume. Or you can go just with the natural zucchini flavor, which I really love. This is really one of my favorite preparations for zucchini. We have our 450-degree oven. We'll go, let it bake in there, we'll let it roast, pan roast in there, probably for about 25 minutes to 30 minutes. Again, we want to get it really soft, very creamy. The zucchini will turn into a very creamy texture, and one I'm sure that you're really going to love. It's a very simple preparation using a vegetable that's readily available. You really can't beat it. All right, so look at that. Oh, it's so beautiful. It smells wonderful as well. So we're gonna use our tomato concassé that we made earlier today. So we made a little sauce vierge, which is just extra virgin olive oil, the concassé tomato, a few chopped shallots, and some minced parsley. We'll drain our zucchinis, the excess of oil. Now look at that. I mean, how simple can that be? Now, are you wondering what the flavor difference is between the green and the yellow? At this point, there's not a lot. It is a zucchini, remember? So You can use all green or all yellow, depending on which ones are better in the market. It is such a magnificent vegetable to work with, especially when you're doing something like this. This just screams summer. A little bit of finishing salt. I love finishing salt. There we go. Pan roasted summer zucchini. Tammy here. Tammy, again, is a tool of refinement. It's covered with a screen, and this screen is very fine. They have different sizes of screens. This one is the finest that you can get, and it's what we call it in America a drum sieve. Okay, so we're just